In this set of lessons, students break down an ecosystem into its parts. Then they wonder, how do changes in an ecosystem affect the different organisms? We see this a lot in science, where we recognize a disruption, our cross-cutting concept of stability and change, and we wonder what the effects of that change will be. There's cause and effect. So let's try and emphasize these two cross-cutting concepts throughout this section. We'll focus specifically on seasonal changes right now, so this phenomenon image will help set the stage. We begin this group of lessons with lesson 6.9, and we wonder, what are the different parts of an ecosystem? We show the phenomenon of the same location in two different seasons and ask students, what do they notice? What do they wonder? What does it remind me of? Then, you'll need to flip through the ecosystem images presentation to find the one picture that you think your students will relate to the best. Show that one and have them do a 30-second survey of observations. They'll write down everything that they noticed on Post-its, and then you'll ask them to categorize those Post-its into 3 different piles of their own choosing. We'll then introduce the common categories used by ecologists of abiotic and biotic factors and get the students to move their ideas into those categories. When they feel like some things just don't quite fit, we'll add a third category of cultural features related to humans, A, B, C. For each image in the Ecosystem Images presentation, there's actually a corresponding text about a year in the life of an animal that lives there, and that will be the focus for lesson 6.10. As we wonder, how do ecosystem resources change throughout the year? Students will read the text, and they'll try to find evidence of those changes in the biotic and abiotic conditions of the ecosystem. They'll record those in a table, and then convert those into a graph of relative abundance from high to low. They graph shelter availability, food supply, and what they think the effect will be on the woodpecker population. It's time to reflect on some of what we've experienced. We find where we've gone in the unit roadmap, and then fill out some reflection questions in our ecosystem notebook. Then we craft a poem written from the perspective of our ecosystem study location. Each of the 5 lines should identify what you notice or how you feel there. In 6.12, students present their IM poems in a fishbowl share-out. While other students are presenting, the audience can categorize what they hear into the A, B, Cs. Next, students are going to look at their own ecosystem study location and predict how it's going to change throughout the seasons. And that will earn them their Nature Ninja badge in understanding ecosystems. We end the unit with a concept checkpoint, a set of multiple choice questions that we project and discuss as a class to apply what we've learned so far. Next up, let's build some mountains in our ecosystem.